Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. Today, I am here to do your reading for today's new moon in Pisces. So, we have this going on as well as Mercury just went retrograde on Monday through Pisces as well. So, we're really we also shifted sun signs into Pisces. So, we're really kind of digging into the depths a lot and with this Mercury retrograding through this sign, it's kind of even more like dreamy. Like I feel like it's kind of bringing us more out of illusion because Pisces has a lot to do with kind of the dream world and just like lulling. And so with Mercury going retrograde through it, I feel like there's going to be things becoming a little bit more clear, but it's also a point of surrendering. And especially with the new moon, we're so in this new cycle wanting to take action, but I think it's really a new cycle of a new way of a spiritual being for ourselves, how we will integrate differently into the world. Because Pisces is also the ending, we're going to be moving into spring soon and a new zodiac cycle. And so we really have to end something before we can really begin moving forward. So we need that time to kind of roll back and contemplate. So I'm working with the Moonology deck, and then I have a couple tarot cards for the energy and some goddess energy to work with. So we'll start with the new moon in Pisces card. So this talks about meditate and contemplate. So Pisces isn't exactly like a super action card anyway. It's very watery, very kind of goes more with the flow, is much more intuitive and in touch with the deeper realms. And so again, with this kind of retrograde, like pedaling back energy, and now we have this dark moon, we don't have a lot of light going on. It's kind of this period of really retracting and kind of sitting with ourselves more before we actually push forward, because we'll soon be moving into Aries, and more of that fiery actual like action energy will be moving into spring. Things will start growing again. The seeds that we plant now will start to come to fruition. So we're kind of being asked to just sit back more and really take time for ourselves over these next couple weeks. And we'll have the full moon on March 9th, I believe that it is, and then we'll also be shifting direct in Mercury on March 10th, which is also the same date that the Indian Festival of Color is celebrated, Holi, and that's their celebration of spring, of harvest. So there is this big culmination coming, I feel, but we really are being asked to dive really deeply into these more like shadowy, like mysterious depths of ourselves. So that's my interpretation anyway. So this is a reading for the general collective. It may or may not resonate with you, so just be open to receiving however that comes through for you. All right, so, and a lot of this is just kind of my own intuitive guidance as well. I try to get better about really having like a broad message and going with what comes to mind first. So take it as you will. Okay, so the first card we have is the Two of Acorns in the reverse. And it has to do with insight and focus, and this is the hawk medicine. So with this being in the reverse, this has to do with the Two of Wands. So again, that kind of fire, like passion energy. We're coming to this decision, this choice of moving down a path, and we are kind of looking at all of these options, but we're feeling really clouded up right now. And it makes a lot of sense because Mercury does also have to do with hawk energy. It represents, what is his name? Toth, Toth, I could be saying it wrong. but the kind of the messenger god, basically. Mercury is the messenger god, and so hawk is this messenger from spirit. Birds of prey are really connected to this spiritual divine energy, and so they have a bigger outlook on the whole picture. But with this being in the reverse, we're kind of not really seeing this connection going on. We're just like, all of this stuff is happening to us and we don't really know, like, am I on the right path? Am I going in the right direction? Or is there something deeper within that I need to kind of contemplate before I move forward? So before really forcing yourself on some sort of path, we're really being asked to kind of delve a little bit deeper and get more clarity before we really start to move forward and not be too hasty. Because also going along with that energy, we have the Tower, release and revelation. And we have the Chameleon. So this is really like, there's going to be this sudden change. Like the Tower is kind of pivotal moment where everything that we thought we knew for sure is just gone. The foundations may still be there if they are strong foundations that you built, but the whole idea that you had built around it is gonna kind of just collapse. And it's really sudden, it kind of comes out of nowhere, but it's meant to help you learn to be adaptable, because this is the big medicine of Chameleon, is how do we change with our environment, because that's always going to be shifting for us, but how can we still maintain our sense of self in all of these different placements? So just making sure that you're being really open-minded and you get a little grounded on where you do want to go, so that when this moment does come, when this shift does happen, you will be more prepared to take that leap. You will be more sure-footed in yourself, and you will feel more empowered in that sense, because this is a revelation. This is meant to be something that's freeing you into something better. Okay, so getting into our actual moon cards. So the first card represents what is rising up in me, the energy that is coming up from this new moon energy. So we have the full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. So like I was just saying, we're trying to get this perspective. We're trying to understand how it's all coming together, how we are going to be a part in this play that's coming forward, because we really feel this calling to be more serving. Again, that fiery energy, Sagittarius is one of the most like fiery energies, I would say. I mean, they're all pretty fiery, but Sagittarius is very like forward and expansive and explosive. And so with this expansion, we have to kind of all encompass everything that's going on around us. We can't just kind of nitpick little things and think that's going to be what propels us forward. We have to integrate everything about ourselves, is the message that I'm getting. So integration is really, I think, what's coming up for us. Now, moving into sorry, my words are escaping me. So, what does this card represent? This one is, sorry, I always forget. Let's see, the main message of this new moon. I should know this by now, sorry. So the main message of this new moon is the full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. So I don't know when the next eclipse is, but we do have more of an eclipse season going on this year. And so that energy really gets heightened. So maybe seeing if like this next full moon is really going to have that conclusion. And this could be that kind of tower moment where you realize like everything, this powerful change is coming forward, because new moons are about change and they kind of culminate at the full moon. So this path that we have been on is, coming to conclusion. It's just, we have to really look at everything coming together before we can really reach that final piece. Because if we don't have all the pieces together and something gets left behind, we're not really closing that door. There's just something left to come back to later. So we're really being, I feel this sense of like wholeness, of really putting all the puzzle pieces together to make one big picture. Okay, so then coming in the final outcome, we have more Sagittarius energy. We have the new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. So I think this is saying to be more trusting in what's happening around you. You may think that because things are not working out for you, or they're not going the way that you're expecting them to, that you may be unlucky, or things are not working out in your favor. But sometimes those things, these conclusions, can be coming in the most surprising ways, but in the end, we're really happy about it. Because once again, this is really expansive energy. This is a new, like, fiery start, I feel, for us, because our next new moon is going to be that new moon in Aries. So it's going to be that really good time to actually plant those seeds, start taking actions, start propelling forward. So I think it's more calling on us to be really trusting in ourselves. And the way to do that is to stay grounded, to move through this Mercury retrograde cycle and this new moon cycle to really delve into those deeper aspects of ourselves. Okay. All right, so moving into some goddess energy. I knew these guys would pop up. So there are 3 goddess cards, and they are exactly all 3 of the goddess cards I drew for myself today. So it is perfect. So the first goddess we have is Rhea Flow. So going with the actual flow of everything around us, going with, again, that kind of Pisces energy. This is really just feeling more, experiencing more, being more present. The more present you are, the easier it is to flow, because if we think more of things outside of the now, then we can't really focus on what's going on around us, and we start to kind of lose our grip. So it's a big point of surrender and allowing these things to happen to you, accepting the things that you cannot change, but having the ability to move through it with grace. Because then we have the next card is the goddess Skuld. Okay. And she is goddess of the future. So she sees everything that is going on in the future, but the big thing about the future, which I feel like this is speaking in that big, like, expansive energy, like the future is always something that can actually be lived in the now, because she talks about not wanting to focus so much on the future that we take away from this now. We do want to have this big, bright future. I feel like this is really a big sign that your big, like, how do I want to word this? Your most prominent, like, aspect of your life, the thing that's going to be what you most desire, is really coming forward, is really being integrated right now. But we have to work in this surrender and flow. We have to be here in this flow now to be able to make this happen. And yep, I've been getting this goddess many a times, Nyx, the goddess of secrets. So accepting the not knowing. I feel like this is very Piscean energy, the unknown, the depths, the realm of secrets and illusions. So trusting that you don't quite have that vision yet. You don't quite see the big picture just yet. You don't see the path that needs to be taken. And trusting in that and being okay, just flowing with it. Like, okay, I don't know what's happening. I don't know exactly what's shifting, but I know how I am envisioning my future. I know how I want to see this. So I'm just going to keep staying in this flow and, keep looking at the bigger picture that's outside of myself, not being so focused on just one thing, and realizing that it's all kind of a cyclical nature. The moon is very, that's one of our biggest cycles that we work with. So getting more in touch with your cycles, and I'm not even just speaking about women here, just every human goes through cycles, and it's okay. But this cycle is coming to a conclusion. We just have to see that it is. if we're so focused on this one little thing that's not going right, we're not gonna really see the bigger picture. So meditate and contemplate. Spend the time in that secret realm. Spend more time with meditation and slowing down and tuning into your flow, and you will find it so much easier. And meditation can be anything from, just focusing on how you want your future to look, how you would feel if you were there, and how can I integrate that now into this moment, and taking baby steps. You don't have to take these big, huge steps every single time, every single day. If you're not where you're hoping that you're at, just keep working on it, and every day that you do it, once you have 365 days, you've done 365 days of work. So it builds up, and this is something I struggle with myself, so I need to follow my own advice. So I think that is your reading, and I really actually want to take this moment to say that because of this energy that is going on, because of I'm having a lot of this like very similar experience, I feel like this is really talking to me as well. I think over the next couple weeks, I am actually going to draw back from my readings and doing a lot of extra things. I'm still going to be doing my offerings, so if you do want personal readings or Reiki or coaching or whatever you are looking for to get from me, something new, I'm still doing that, but I have a lot that I have put on my own plate because of my own doing. I tend to do that and just stack everything on top until it's just really weighing down on me, and it gets overwhelming, and I need to spend a little more time integrating and actually diving a little bit more deeply in myself, because I am working so much outside of myself that I think it's really important to spend these next couple weeks drawing back and, setting myself up so I can really bring you some great offerings where I'm in a really grounded place, because I do better work for you when I come not from a place where everything is so rushed, because I'm doing a million things and I can't focus on just one thing. And that's really not fair to you for me being a holistic practitioner. I would rather be serving you in my highest form. And so I know when I have to step back and do that work. So I hope you guys can understand. And if you resonate with that, let's talk about it. I love connecting with people in that sense and still being that support system, because we all are going through these really big shifts, and that is my biggest work, is being your connection and your anchor and your support, and vice versa. I don't know where I would be without the people who do keep me grounded. So yes, so I may or may not do the weekly guidance reading. That is kind of to be decided, but for now I will just leave you with this, and I may write a little more on my blog about it as well. So otherwise, really integrate with yourselves over the next couple weeks. I will hopefully be communicating a little bit sooner before that, because I have some special workshops and classes coming up in March and some really cool announcements. But for now, I need to just sort and organize and realign a little bit. So thank you for your understanding, and I hope all of you are able to move through this transition with ease and awareness and get to learn even more and more about yourselves. So again, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week and enjoy this moon cycle. I will see you next time. Thanks so much.